Yeah, so this is like my third recording of this, so I'm gonna just be clear cut, straight to the point. Um, this is one take, so if I'm gathering my thoughts or if I'm stuttering or anything like that, forgive me. This is one take. I'll just make it very simple. So, no one should be playing tanks in War Thunder. Everyone should be playing planes. Tanks are boring, slow paced. There's not a big skill gap, and it's just ultimately not fun, right? And planes are fun. It does take more skill. It's more fast paced. It's a superior game mode to tanks. It's just superior, right? And the reason being, I've played top tier tanks. So my ethos is I've played top tier tanks if you count 10-7. I played 10-7 tanks. It's super slow paced, right? The people who play tanks can account to this. It's super slow paced. It's kind of arcadey, honestly. I mean, you get like a bunch of respawns. You know, there's always some guy camping point behind a rock, and he just snipes you, and you can't even do anything about it. And then you get graped by the airplanes, by the CAS, by some Su-25 flying in the sky, and he just grapes you and your whole team. You can't do anything about it. The tanks are slow as hell. You go up a hill, you lose all your speed. It's just camping behind friggin' trees and rocks. It's not fun at all. No one should be playing tanks. Not a single person. Now, when I interview people, why are you playing tanks in War Thunder? What is mentally wrong with you? Are you mentally ill? Are you okay? Do you need help? They're just like, oh, it's just fun. I mean, it's just missile spam. In War Thunder, when you play planes, that's just missile spam, right? That's just missile spam. That's all that is. Oh my gosh, dude, if you know how to notch, that's not going to be a problem, bro. Missile spam. You just don't know how to deal with missiles, bro. I mean, dealing with missiles is more fun than dealing with some guy camping point and you can't even do anything about it. He just snipes you and you're dead, bro. Like, it's definitely more fun than that and getting raped by the CAS, Way more fun. Just think about it. In planes, you're flying around at like Mach 2, getting in dogfights like Top Gun Maverick, and you're launching missiles, you're notching, you have all these different mechanics, beautiful gameplay, beautiful. And if we're talking about the skill issue, right, the skill gap between the two game modes, the airplane game mode has way more of a skill gap than the tank game mode. I've played 10-7 tanks, like I told you. I played 10-7 tanks. I got like 2 kills that game. I've only played 2 realistic like battles of tanks. One at like reserve because I had to, right, to like get in a squadron or whatever, and then one at 10-7. So I've never played tanks before. Practically never played tanks. I load in and I get 2 kills at 10-7 too. These people have grinded whole tech trees to get here, I assume, and I get 2 kills because it's that easy. You just camp behind a friggin' house, wait for someone to cross your crosshairs, and you just kill them. No skill at all. And then what they'll say is, "Oh, well, you have to memorize the where you have to shoot. You have to memorize where you're going to shoot the tank. You have to memorize that." Dude, are you serious? Are you serious right now, bro? You have to memorize. You have to know the hit spots. I mean, I grant that a little bit, but I got 2 kills, so it's not that hard. You know what I mean? You just shoot the tank, bro. Aim for the little gaps or whatever. You just shoot the tank, bro. Like, it's not rocket science, dude. And they're like, you have to have map knowledge, dude. That's you get map knowledge probably around like 4.0. You know what I mean? Like 4.0 tanks. That's what I'm assuming because you've just played on the maps consistently, so you just know what they are. You know what I mean? Like map knowledge, really? Map knowledge, bro? You're camping behind bushes. I mean, map knowledge. I mean, I guess, but that's not really skill. That's just like memorization. I mean, a memory game is skill. I mean, I guess, but it's nothing compared to airplanes where you have to know how to work the radar, you have to know how to notch, you have to know what kind of missiles are coming at you, you have to know about positioning, you have to know about two fight circles, one fight circles, you have to know how to dogfight, you have to know energy retention, you have to know how to rate fight, you have to know how to energy fight, stall fight, you have to know all these different things, right? You have to know like your plane inside and out. You have to know all these different things to be good at top tier airplanes. With tanks, you just camp, bro. You just camp. You literally just camp behind a rock and wait for someone to come by and you shoot them. And every time I've talked to someone about this that plays tanks, they're always just like, "Oh, well, it's fun. It's fun." It's not fun, bro. You are camping, but just be logical and say airplanes are more fun. I just like playing tanks because I'm a doofus. No one, when they're growing up, is going to be like, "Yeah, I want to drive a tank." Hey, Dad, when I grow up, I want to be a tank driver. Really, dude? Really, bro? You're driving tanks, dude? I mean, like you're driving 30 miles an hour. Like it's just you're in some really hot enclosed space in like Iraq or whatever. You know, I mean, you just get blown up by like an IED or whatever. Like, I mean, if that's fun to you, I mean, I guess, bro. But now, after I've shown you why it's more logical to play airplanes and why it's more fun, I'm gonna. I actually thought about this like less than an hour ago, like 30 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. I thought about this. Tanks are obsolete in real life, not just in War Thunder. Like, you shouldn't play them in War Thunder, but in real life, they are practically obsolete. No war, quote me on this, no war will ever come down to, oh, well, this guy has more tanks. Yeah, he's going to win. Dude, oh, yeah, he has better tanks than me. Yeah, he's going to win this war. Yeah, I don't stand a chance. Yeah, he's got better tanks than me. No war will ever come down to that. Because imagine like this tanks are like, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Tanks are like rock, and planes are like paper. It just covers the friggin' tank, bro. It covers it like a paper covers rock. Think about it, bro. Just think about it. A plane, if I'm in a plane, I'm 6,000 meters up. I'm just going to drop a bomb on your tank and you're dead, bro. Simple as that. It's going to come down to aerial superiority. You know what I mean? And another point is, I mean, dude, you're flying in the sky. That's more fun than flying in some dirty tank on the ground. You know what I mean? Getting shot at, having to roll through mud, stuff like that. Like that's like grunt work, bro. It's way more fun to be up in the skies and drop bombs. But back to the point, the plane kills the tank every single time, bro. And yeah, I know there's SPAA, but I'm talking about like infantry tanks, like the ones that shoot stuff with the bullet 50 cal and the tank turrets. Not additionally the SPAA. Think about it. This is actually real. You can look this up. I'm going to show stats up on the screen now. 1v1s, like a tank versus tank battle, is rarer than a dogfight. Practically rarer than like a dogfight. Practically, because you're never gonna it not rare than a dogfight, but almost as rare. Like on the same level of a dogfight happening, top tier airplanes like fifth gen airplane versus fifth gen airplane dogfight. That's as common as two tanks fighting each other close range, because that just realistically doesn't happen. The last one was in like Ukraine in like 2023, and they had drone support too. So they had aerial stuff. They had aerial support. So I mean, you need the airplanes, But if you look at the stats, tank versus tank does not happen. It doesn't happen. Not frequently at all. Tank versus tank does not happen. Large scale battles were like back in the day. You know what I mean? Um, when people were still having dogfights. You know what I mean? So large scale tank battles, it doesn't happen, right? Tanks are really just used for like blowing up positions. If you're in like World War I, then you're like, okay, I know where the enemies are. I'm gonna go blow up their trench, and I can't be shot back. It's a very childish concept. I'm going to create a heavy metal box that protects me from getting shot at, so I can shoot at other people. Right? That's the concept of a tank. But it all relies on the premise of you knowing where they're at. Tanks have become obsolete because, dude, I'm just going to be like guerrilla warfare, hiding in trees and stuff like that, like throwing grenades down your hatch. You're going to run into my IEDs. You're going to run into my traps, like Vietnam. The planes did way more in Vietnam than the tanks did. And granted, yeah, it's a very dense jungle, but the tanks, they're just rolling around on the floor. They're not going to do anything. When people are like guerrilla fighting, when they're guerrilla warfare, when there's guerrilla warfare going on, the tanks become obsolete. You're going to run into an IED, or like some tank explosion, some anti-tank, and you're going to get blown up, bro. You're going to get hit with an RPG by some Taliban. That's what happened in Iraq. You'd run into the IEDs and you die. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying tanks are completely. Let me preface it. I'm not saying tanks are completely useless, right? I'm not saying they're completely useless. Don't scrap every single tank, because they still serve some use. Yes, the tank fight does occasionally happen. They do help somewhat, right? I will grant that, but never as much as planes. Never as much as planes. And I'll show you an argument I had on Discord, because that's very philosophical. I'll show you an argument I had on Discord with this girl, right? Never have an argument with women because they're stupid, but I had an argument with her, and her point was basically, I'm gonna steal her point. It was basically, you need the tanks to uh, occupy the country, which is not true. You don't need the tanks, right? If that was the case, they would have sent in tanks to go and kill Maduro or whatever. No, tanks is late term, right? When you have a bunch of tanks in the country, that's when you're occupying it. I mean, yeah, people do have tanks to occupy it, but it's not necessary. You can just have troops there, right? The reason why they have tanks there is because they're occupying it and they need like reinforcements because there are going to be other like there are going to be people like Taliban or ISIS, whatever like that. So they're going to have tanks there, right? They're not completely useless. I'm granting that, right? But the planes are more useful. They're vastly more useful. Vastly more useful. When you have a plane, like let's say a B-2 Spirit bomber, a B-2 is going to level a country within seconds, bro. Within seconds. That's an exaggeration, of course, but a B-2 is going to level a country within seconds. A tank's not going to do that, bro. Planes are they're superior than tanks. In a war, it will come down to aerial superiority in a way, right? It will come down to that. A B-2 is going to beat any tank that ever exists ever in this earth, right? When it comes to practicality or usefulness, anything like that, a B-2 is going to win every single time. The tanks are useful, I guess, but so are having troops on the ground. If there are troops on the ground, they're going to place IEDs and stuff like that. The tanks are just they're just that little bit of extra support, if that makes sense. Once again, I'm not saying they're useless, right? I would even go as far to say uh, not aircraft, naval craft is more useful than tanks. Think about the nuclear submarines. Think about the battleships. Basically, everything is more important than tanks when it comes to practicality, right? Like I said in the beginning of the video, no war will ever be won because this guy has better tanks or more tanks. It will be won over the ships, right? Because nuclear submarines and battleships and aircraft carriers, it will be won because of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, even naval craft is more important than tanks. When you're going to invade a country, like let's say Iran, because this is something that's presently happening with Iran, they're not sending in tanks, bro. They're not sending in tanks. They're not at all. They're sending in aircraft because you got to weaken it. You got to bomb it. They're bombing Iran, right? They're not sending in aircraft, right? The aircraft comes way before they get troops on the ground, and the troops get on the ground, and then they start getting tanks in, right? And the proof of that is with Maduro, with uh, with Iraq. They're gonna get Marines. They're gonna get Navy SEALs. They're gonna get like co-op stealth. They're gonna get stealth in there before they get tanks on the ground. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, the infantry, a person will beat a tank. They can place IEDs. They have RPGs. They have all these things. The tank is just that little bit of extra support. You know what I mean? So once again, to wrap this up, all in all, you should not be playing tanks in War Thunder because it's logically not fun. It's objectively worse than planes, right? That's number one. And number two, they've tanks have become practically obsolete in real life. So that's kind of just a tangent. It really has nothing to do with the first point of which one you should play in War Thunder. But that's kind of just a tangent that I noticed. Some I noticed that planes are way more useful than tanks. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my rants. Sorry if I was stuttering or anything like that. Please drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, please, and subscribe. And let me know what you think about my argument. Yeah, see ya.